sketchiest Craigslist purchase yet. Let's talk about that a little bit later, but first let's take a look at the knife that you're wanting to see. This is the Smith & Wesson Swing Blade Sporter model 6041. This was made prior to Taylor Cutlery making the knives, so maybe from the 80s, maybe the 70s. This is an older, discontinued Smith & Wesson knife. Now, I do own two of these, so one right there, one right here. This one does not have the paper card that shows the information. And at the same time that I purchased these two from a guy on Craigslist, I also purchased this. This is the Swing Blade boot knife. I have already seen a video posted regarding this knife, not by me, but by somebody else. So I may not film this one anytime soon. If you're wanting to see it, let me know. I can film that if people want it. Let's take a look at this knife. Then later on, I'll talk about my experience with purchasing these on Craigslist. So taking a look at this box right here, it looks like the original price was $28.95. That's actually not too much higher than what I paid through Craigslist. I think I paid $100 or maybe $110 for all three of these. So not too bad. They do go for about $95 to $100, I think, online. I haven't checked recently, but I think that is about what they sell for. So I'm actually going to be showing this knife off, and I'll be reading a little bit off of this card here, and that's because this one is in a little bit better condition than this knife here. Now, this knife has some special features. It doesn't open like an ordinary knife. So what it actually does, so first it pivots out, so the center of the handle pivots out, and then you actually push the handle forwards, exposing the blade. Now, when you're closing this, you do want to keep your fingers out of that little hole in the handle because it will pinch your fingers and it hurts. It is completely made out of stainless steel. On here it says 3 inches flat ground, 440 stainless steel. So it's probably not a high-end 440. I'm guessing it's probably a 440A since it doesn't have that description. But this is more of a novelty knife than anything. No writing on the blade. The only writing on this knife is the logo stamp, which says USA, has the Smith & Wesson logo, and then says stainless, which, let's zoom in, and you can see that. There you go. That is the logo, and then you can see that blade there. Now, one of the things about the swing feature of this knife, you can't open it like this swinging arm. It has to go away from the blade rather than back behind it because it will not lock open otherwise. It just, the shape of this handle will not allow it to go in a locked open position. So you have to bring it back around and then close it like this. Also, in order to close the knife, you have to get it right straight up and down, and then you'll be able to close it. So if you have it a little bit off angle, you won't be able to close the knife, as you can see there. Now, one of the things you may be thinking is, this seems dangerous because you're swinging this handle, you're getting your hand pretty close to that edge, getting it pretty close to that blade. Your thinking would be correct. It does seem dangerous. I don't really have anything to add onto that, but yeah, when you're swinging this, you definitely don't want to have wet hands because if you slip off, your hand could go straight into that blade. It's even more dangerous on the double-edged version. As you can see here, this is the double-edged boot version, and you're doing the same thing. You're bringing that up. If you push it too far over, that's your hand's going straight into that blade. Let's make sure you guys can actually see that. But yeah, you can see that's a little bit unsafe. Oh well. They didn't care about the safety in the 70s and 80s, I don't believe. That's a new thing. So there you go. Now to talk a little bit Well, actually, this knife does come with a sheath, as you can see here, right there. So you just close the knife up, and I really like one of the features on this sheath. When you put the knife in, it actually has this little cutout where you see the Smith & Wesson logo still. So it protects the knife, keeps it from being damaged. Since it's stainless steel, it could get scratched up, so it protects it from that, but still shows the Smith & Wesson logo in there. So you can see that. Now, you guys may be wondering, what is the sketchy thing that happened when I purchased this from Craigslist? Well, so I contacted the person, seemed normal from there, told them where to meet up. They ended up being a little bit late. I told them what vehicle I was going to be in. So normally you both would get out of the vehicle and talk a little bit, purchase the item, look at it first, then purchase it, and then go get back in your car and leave. Well, for some reason on this time, he was a little bit late, and he knows what vehicle I'm going to be in, so he ends up, so this is my Jeep. He drives up his window right next to mine. We just both roll down our windows. We're in the middle of a parking lot of a grocery store. We both roll down our windows. He hands me these knives. I look at it for a second, hand him the money, and just drive away. So it definitely looked like it did not look like it was a Craigslist transaction. However, it was. It just seemed super sketchy. We both drove in separate directions when leaving. Yeah, I was surprised I was not pulled over on the way home. But there you go. There's my little story of purchasing these knives. Great condition. They did smell like smoke though, so I've kept them in the basement since I purchased them. But there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let's take another look at them just a little bit more before turning the camera off, as I know you guys may want to see these in a little bit greater detail in case focusing didn't work prior in the video. And I know you guys used to love the 1080p macro time videos that I used to do. Those were fun. Okay, so you flip them out, or you push it out like that. Oh, have to make sure this is actually in frame. You push it forward. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Now, it is a decently comfortable handle, at least shape-wise, but it does have some rather sharp corners. Those are definitely not, they didn't take anything to smooth those out. Make sure this is all in focus. The weight on these, it said on here, let's see, do 4 ounces. Let's see if that's accurate. Grab the scale, zero this out, 0. This says 3.5 ounces. Maybe it's 4 ounces with the sheath. 4 ounces with the sheath. So 3.5 ounces or 4 ounces with the sheath. There you go. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. This is a pretty neat knife. It's one of those that I'll be throwing back into my collection. I won't be carrying it or anything. There's plenty of knives in my collection to carry. This is more of a display piece. Anyways, thank you, and have a fantastic day. See you guys later.